gonna be straight up honest, I actually had no video planned for Halloween and was probably just gonna do my normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 episode recap or maybe an anime review or something like that. Just anything normal. But I thought of this on the way home from work and thought it would be a really cool idea. My top 10 creepiest Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Half of these are in no particular order, though. I figured, you know what, no one ever does this kind of list. No one ever talks about creepy cards or cards with creepy artworks. They talk about creepy things in the anime and how they're used. But no, I thought, let's look at some cards that genuinely give me the willies. And I'm not talking about scary cards like Thousand Eyes Restrict, or the Dark Synchros from 5Ds, or a lot of the Chaos numbers from Arc from Zale and all that stuff. I'm talking cards that scare me on a personal level, because those are supposed to be scary. If they scare you, that's awesome. That makes them cool. And that is a list I was thinking of doing, but I figured let's do something a little bit more juicy. Something that really dives into what makes things creepy, because honestly, I think if something is creepy, that's better than it being scary, because if it's creepy, it gets to you on a personal level. And these are the cards that creep me out on said personal level. Now, some of you might find my reasons for these to be petty and or a little ridiculous, but let's keep in mind we are judging the creepiness of cards in a children's card game. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 10! Okay, I know, just hear me out on this one. Like I said, this is a personal list, and this is the reason this thing is so low on the list. The reason I put, this is not all Dark Magicians. I am putting the Green Dark Magician at number 10 because of something that always bothered me as a child. And that was, what the hell is this thing? No, this isn't Dark Magician. Dark Magician is all white with purple hair, and he's got the purple and white accents on his costume. He looks all serious. What is this guy? Where did he come from? Why is he in the booster set? Why does he look all smiley and with the sickly green skin? Is he dying or something? What the hell is he? I know I'm overthinking this, but for whatever reason, they chose to put the Dark Magician in the packs to be this green one. Now, many of you are thinking they wanted to do an alternate artwork, so the starter deck Yu-Gi one would be special. This is meant to pay more of an homage to the original Yu-Gi-Oh, where the monsters had more of this sort of pop style that Kazuki Takashi likes. There's a number of reasons people have come up with over the years, but just this thing has always disturbed me. And I know it's ridiculous to say that, but I was a really imaginative kid, so something like this was really just sort of confused me and bugged me and made me wonder of the lore. Also, Yu-Gi-Oh! Always felt very creepy to me as a kid, so having a monster like this be what you were sort of promoting everything on, just always bugged me. Sangan! Why is this thing still banned in 2016? I don't know. I've asked this question many times, but why is he on this list today? Well, once again, this is another more of a personal reason. I do find Sangan, though, to be kind of creepy. The three eyes, the claws, the teeth. I always felt that the reason it's smiling is because it's coming after you and it's going to eat your face off. But my main reason Sangan is on this list is because of Kuriboh. These two cards have nothing in common, but when I was a kid, I always thought Sangan was a Kuriboh that had turned evil and just turned into this grotesque monster. Like, Kuriboh just turns into Sangan, and we all love Kuriboh. It's this cute little furball. But when I thought of Sangan as, like, its older brother or, like, its Gremlins counterpart, I was like, oh god, what the hell? And it's always just stuck with me till now. And again, like I said, it's just a creepy looking card. I mean, it's pretty tame by some of the other standards on this list or in some other forms of children's media, but just keep this thing away from me at night. Number 8, Arcana Force 3, the Empress. Arcana Force, to me, they're creepy looking. They all looked creepy. It made sense. They were the villain's archetype. The reason Empress, though, scores highest on this list as far as those guys go for me, it looks like a sickly gray alien. I love aliens, but so far, all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Attempts at aliens, save for something else on this list, have been failures. And honestly, Empress is the creepiest. Like, I know it's not supposed to be an alien. I don't know what the lore behind these things are, but it's a creepy looking monster. Like, it's got that gray, skinny look, the weird head, the dress, the almost insect-like appearance. There's just something incredibly haunting and creepy about something that looks like this. And I think it's why gray aliens stick in people's minds so much. There's just something inhuman about it, but still sort of human in a way. It just sort of gets to people, and this card gets to me every time I look at it. Even now, it's sort of like, ugh! Like, that is one lady I do not want to hook up with. Number 7, the Great Jinzo. So, a little background. Jinzo is actually based on Pinhead from the Hellraiser series. Kazuki Takashi is a big horror fan, so it makes sense he'd include this. I'm going to be straight up honest. This is creepier than Pinhead. The exposed epidermis where the face is supposed to be, the really long, disproportionate stuff to it, like with the arms and legs, the really sickly green to it, the fact that it's a machine. Just everything about Jinzo scares me, and I never bought it as a good guy card, which it was, because Joey used it. But the sheer fact that every time it was brought back not being used by Joey, it was a villain, I think says something. This card just creeps me out. The fact that it has no face, and it just has that weird, creepy BDSM mask, just sort of, there's something horrifying about a humanoid without a face, or without a genuine face. Like, the face is really where we get our ability to relate to other people a lot of times, and identify and try and understand people. When you take that away, and everything you've replaced it with feels creepy and monstrous, it really has this strong effect, and it's why I think Jinzo tops most people's creepiest cards list. Number 6! Worm Apocalypse. This is the other alien on this list. This is not here for any real logical reason. All the worms are creepy and disturbing to me, which sucks because they all are terrible, but they look really good. And Worm Apocalypse, it's just the sliminess of it, like the long tentacles, the weird long body, the army of them coming to kill you. Again, it's a bad card, and most people have forgotten Dual Terminal 1 ever even happened. But I just find Worm Apocalypse just creepy on a personal level, and just sort of a hentai tentacle level. Okay, I know I said... Okay, I never explicitly said this, but I wanted to keep things that are creepy because of their role in the anime out of this list. But Parasite Fusioner, man, just the whole thing with this card that it legitimately crawled into the 4 lead girls in the show's ears and took over their brains, and creepily too, with its claws and the tail looked like it was going in there. It's just a creepy card. But here's the thing, even if it wasn't for the anime, I would still find this thing creepy. The color palette on this thing is perfect. It just reads mind control, and it just reads monstrous and unnatural. On top of that, I love that the claws even have kind of that look at it's here to like snatch onto someone's gray matter. It's just a creepy all-in-all card. Its color scheme is great. It's a bug. I don't like bugs. They creep me out. And this thing just exhumes everything that is creepy, but it's still subtle enough that I can appreciate it. It's not a mess. It's this very small, simple thing with a devastating card effect. But the fact that it is so small and it is so simple, and you know what it can do, is what makes it scary. Also, what's with the balls generating electricity on the legs? Just gets even weirder. Number 4, when this card came out, it had no business on this list. In fact, when I first saw Hypnose Sister, I really like this card. I think the girl is cute, I think it's got a neat little design, and if you've ever just sort of wanted to troll pendulum players, build a pendulum deck and summon this thing in defense mode against Pepe back in like the OTK days with it, trust me, you will laugh your head off. You'll probably still lose the duel, but man, is it worth it. But then this happened. Wavering Eyes. Then I remembered these cards, the Rizbels. Then I saw Rizbel the Summoner. Oh god, it's so just, what the heck am I looking at? It was this cute little girl 5 minutes ago. Why is it torturing Rizbel the Summoner? I don't know the lore here, and honestly, there's not enough in the pictures to give me a good tell of what the story is, which kind of makes it creepier. You don't really know what's going on here. You don't know Hypnose Sister's motivations. You don't know why it's hurting Rizbel, and that's kind of what's creepy. It's like Leatherface or Jason Voorhees. You don't really need a lot to it. What's scary about it is the fact that it's just doing it and you don't really know. Like, it's what you don't know that makes it scary. And I guess based on Unwavering Bonds, it's insinuated that this story has a happy ending and Sambal saves his friend. And also Sambal, one of my favorite underrated Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But no, it doesn't change the fact that I still had to come to all these realizations. Okay, a lot of people would also still want this higher on the list, but again, it's mainly here for its anime use. Yubel, I'm not as big on GX Season 3 as a lot of people, but no, Yubel is an ingenious card design. First up, the look of it is creepy enough. The demon wings, the demon hair, the demon third eyes, all that. But by giving it the feminine body type, you sort of get into this sort of innate feeling when it comes to the feminine body type. You see, and this might sound crazy to some people, but when a monstrous thing has that sort of, and again, I'm not saying I'm attracted to Yubel or anything like that, but when it has kind of that feminine design to it and that feminine look, man is supposed to be attracted to that. We are just by nature attracted to, the woman figure. And when you see that used against you, when you see it in a creepy form, it's innate. What you are supposed to be associating as good is now evil. And the thing is, everything from the color scheme to everything about it is just such a creepy card, and it really is effective. On top of that, the anime use was amazing. You didn't know what this thing was for the longest time. Honestly, it really lost me when we found out. But what I especially loved about it was that English dub voice. I know we all want to hate on 4Kids, and there's a lot to hate on. But in this case, going with the almost sort of childlike feminine voice over just a standard woman doing a voice in the Japanese dub really was the smart decision here. Plus, with the overtone of the creepy voice, it really just gave it this haunting, childish feel and allowed for the sympathetic element to also keep it scary. Yubel is a staple in most people's minds of good Yu-Gi-Oh entertainment, and I can completely see why. I want this to be an honorable mention to all psychic monsters pre-Gusto. Very obviously, the psychic monsters were supposed to be sort of dark and creepy and have like a weird edgy lore to them. I don't know what that is and I don't really care. Thought Ruler Archfiend could also have been on this list, but again, that's more of a monster, not really creepy. But Psychic Life Trans, there's something about this thing just weirds me out. Like what I said about the Yubel thing, about the feminine figure is here too. But on top of that, just again, knowing that all psychics are like these weird people who have had work done on their brains and cybernetics and all that is a really creepy plot element, and I love seeing it implemented here. The sickly long black hair, the skin-tight blue dress, and just wondering what happened to this woman, what turned her into this creepy thing. It really is cool to think about. But again, just every time I look at this card, I'm just like, ugh, like there's just something horrifying to it. And also but luckily, it's not meta, so who cares? Number 1! Before I say what takes the number 1 spot, the honorable mentions to brain control, mind crush. Are you seeing a theme here, people? Yes, as I have said several times before, I am a fan of the cerebral, and mind control really creeps me out. And so number 1 is Mind Haxers. This completely irrelevant trap no one cares about, to me, is the creepiest Yu-Gi-Oh card. It doesn't have half the stuff associated with it. There's no lore to it, it plays no role in the show, it's never been meta-relevant, and that's what makes it so creepy. Everything else on this list, I can sort of debunk and sort of work out in my head why it's not creepy and it's not scary. This is just a random card with this creepy-ass artwork. Everything about it, what the hell's going on here? Is he trying to take over this guy's mind or something? Seeing the brain in the guy's head always creeps me out. I've said that before. Brains are sort of make me go, ugh. So seeing that's one thing. Seeing the headache as he loses all control. And then the guy in the background. What a creepy looking... What is this guy? The weird eyes, the blue skin. Okay, that's probably just his metamorphosis form or whatever. But who cares? It's just gross. Like, every time I look at this card, I have like 20 of these things in my common binder. It just makes me go, ugh. Like, it's the fact that it preys on a fear I've always had and chooses to go above and beyond. It's just such an inhuman, disturbing looking card. I keep always seeing them add to the lures of Yugioh and the Hypnose Sister thing I mentioned before, and dual term and all that stuff. Screw that. I want to know the story behind this thing. I want the monster for this guy. I want what he turns this dude into. I want a field spell that's all his brains just like sitting around is that he's taken over and killed people with. Too much? Yeah, probably. But I don't care. It's the creepiest Yu-Gi-Oh card in my opinion, and I just love it. But what do you think? In the comment section below, give me your scariest Yu-Gi-Oh cards, the ones that creep you out the most, no matter what the reason. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe, and have a happy Halloween.